you're doing the flexion straight in front, okay? Just like we did in the weight room, okay? So that's flexion. Next one is going to be abduction with palms down. So abduction is away from your body. So you're just standing there like this. We did it in the weight room. You're just coming straight out. So each day, some of these rotate. If it's palms down the one day, it'll be thumbs up the next day. So then you're just bringing your thumb up when you come up, okay? Same thing though, only ear height, because we don't want to go above the shoulder, so you're kind of pinching off your shoulder, okay? So when you do abduction, you're doing one day palms down, the next day thumbs up, okay? Scaption. So flexion straight in front, abduction is straight out to the side, scaption is right in the middle. So it's 45 degrees. So scaption is just like this, up at a 45-degree angle, okay? Coming all the way down, coming all the way up, okay? So instead of doing a push-up like this, you actually just go like this with your arms, okay? And then you're coming back. So see how I'm kind of rocking my shoulder blades? So your eye position's like this, your T's up here, same thing. Shoulder blades back's nice and flat. You just squeeze your shoulder blades and you're driving through your elbows, okay? When you get to the Y position, it's up here. That's okay over there. So you want to be like this, about 45 degrees. And there's another one called 90-90. So you're starting like this, arms down to your side, elbows to your side. You're gonna rotate your arms and your hands up, okay? Then you're gonna pinch your shoulder blades together, okay? Then you're going to try to rotate a little bit more and sort of extend, okay? So when you get into this position, it's the same thing as the wall stabilization exercises. Everything's kind of nice and tight and stabilized. One of them is called side-lying external rotation, okay? So you're going to need some type of something to put in between your elbow and your side, like maybe a small pillow or something, okay? So all you're doing is you're lying on your one side because you're going to switch and do the other side with this, okay? So something's in between, you know, a pillow or something, and then you're starting at the down position, and then you're just hinging up. See how I'm just like hinging my arm up and kicking it up? You're not doing this. You're not bringing your arm back. Okay. This part of your arm stays in the same position, and you're just hinging it back. Okay? So on your bed, you're going to have to be kind of at that corner, so then your arms can hang off. Because on a couple of the exercises, you have to go back behind, and you're not going to be able to. So it rotates between palms up, or palms down and thumbs up. So you'll start, if it's palms down, you're kicking up at a Y, coming down nice and slow, kicking up at a T, coming down nice and slow, and then going back as your I, okay? So you're doing your Y, you're doing your T, you're doing your I, okay? The other one's thumbs up. So you're going to do thumb up with your Y. Then there's one called bent over T's, palms down. So what you're going to do is, you need to find a surface, okay? So I like to use the table. You're putting your head down on the table like this, all right? Your back's nice and flat, and you're just kicking straight up, okay? See how I'm forming a T when I come up? You don't have to come up above your body. You're only going body height. And you're just coming down nice and slow. Don't come back like this, okay? You want to make sure that it's straight out to the side, okay? So you should be forming a T. Like if you're standing up, you'll be like this, okay? So it's important that you do it in the right position or you're not going to work the proper muscles. That's just straight back, extending behind. So you want it up in like hip height position, and you're just starting in front of you, and you're just coming straight back with a straight arm, okay? Just like that. Kind of like the four-way band exercises that you guys do in the fitness center, where you're going straight forward, and the other one you're kicking straight back. Same thing. Okay? Just a straight kick back with a straight arm. You can do it over the head like this with a rotation. So you just get some resistance. Don't have your elbow go any higher than your shoulder, and you're just doing a push-out with a little rotation. Okay? Pretty simple. So you want to, like a lot of people do their tricep stuff down here. Okay? But with an overhead throwing athlete, when's your tricep being really engaged? It's all up here. Like when you're hitting the ball, you're hitting it here and then coming through. So you want to make sure that you're working it kind of right up in that position. Okay? So make sure that that's the position that you're doing these. Don't hook it onto something and then be pushing straight down. So if you remember from the other ones, abduction is away from your body, okay? So you'll hook it on, you'll stand like this, you'll have the band pulled across you, okay? You want your shoulders square with like a wall, and then you're just pulling a straight arm right across. Don't bend your arm, you're not doing this. There's no bending. You're keeping it relatively straight, and you're just pulling across. And coming back nice and slow, okay? So horizontal means at like shoulder height. So if it says horizontal, everything's up here. Abduction's away, flexion's in front, the scapula's at like 45, okay? So adduction, A-D-D, is going to be toward your body. Shoulder flexion, okay? So with a couple of these, you can hook it onto something on the floor, but I would recommend you can just stand on it, okay? So these are long, so you can sort of do all these exercises. So for instance, if I'm going to do the shoulder flexion, which is straight out in front of me, I'm not going to stand here with all this slack, because there's not even any resistance where I'm stopping, okay? So you can either wrap your hand around, or you're going to have to find a spot to step on it to make sure you get resistance right away, and you're just going straight up with your flexion. Okay? So we're doing some of these with bands, and some of them with the weights. So that's up here. So you just kick, it's kind of like the high rows that we did in the gym. Okay? So you're just pulling straight back and stopping. Okay? So on the second day, you're going to do these horizontal rows, but with an external rotation. So you're going to come up with a row, and then you're going to rotate, okay? And then you're going to rotate back down before you come forward. So it's row, rotate, come back into the position, and then forward, okay? So you don't want to do it all in one motion like this, okay? You want to row, rotate. So you should be standing there with basically your arms at 90 degrees everywhere, okay? Elbow, shoulder height, 90 degrees, and then coming back down into this other 90 degree position. So you're going to bring your elbow back, and when you get to your shoulder, that's when you rotate. Once you rotate, that's when you extend your arm, okay? And you're just coming back down through, okay? So this should be the motion like this, okay? So this is really good for like when you guys are going and practice hitting a ton of serves. So when you hit the ball, if you hit it really hard, your arm still has to slow down. So those muscles have to contract to slow down your arm. And that's where a lot of like the overuse injuries happen. Internal rotation and internal rotation. Okay? So internal is where you're pulling your hand in toward you. So you're starting out here, like we did on the table, you need to have a little bit of space between your elbow and your side. Okay? So you're just basically hinging your arm in. Okay? Same thing as before. You're not doing this stuff, okay? You're keeping this part of your arm stable and then just basically hinging, all right? So that's internal rotation. External rotation is the opposite. So I'll switch arms so you can see what's going on. So now you're just kicking out, okay? So this is external rotation, all right? See how I'm looping it through the one loop to get it to anchor on? You can use a doorknob, dresser, whatever, right? This doesn't have to be at this height, but I would go no higher than this height, okay? You can certainly do it from the floor, okay? It just depends on what angle your arm is. So you're either going to do a biceps curl, okay? You're either going to do palm up, so you're just going to do your biceps curl with your palm up. See how I have no rotation? That's the palm up one, okay? The other one is a thumb up one, so you're just going like this. Okay? And then the other one is knuckles up. Okay? So when you do that, you're isolating some of your forearm muscles to work with the bicep curl. Okay? And then the other one is doing a rotation. So you would start thumb up, and you would just rotate.